This training will demonstrate the Environmental Document Submittal form. To open the EDS form, go to the left side menu under Project Documents and select Environmental Document Submittal Form. Input your project item number and load the project. The EDS form starts with some project information brought in from the work program data. The FM number, which here is green and underlined, it's a link back to the project information page. The project name, the district that it's in, any associated ETDM numbers, in this case there are none, and the class of action of the project, type 2 CE. The note here tells us if this submittal is for a reevaluation, please choose reevaluation as the document type. Right now the document type is type 2 CE, but we have a checklist to choose from. Since this project is not a reevaluation, we're going to leave it type 2 CE. Next is the submittal type. We want to select initial for documents that are being reviewed in the ERC, and we want to choose request for approval for documents that are being submitted to Office of Environmental Management for their signature. We're still on the initial for our project, so we're going to choose initial. Next we select our project phase. We'll choose right of way and identify whether this is a LAP project. The next selection is anticipated letting type. We'll select from the choices here. The contents of submittal is a list of documents being sent for review. This includes the environmental document, all supporting data, and any technical reports or studies that are included with it. The next section of the form is status of documents. Here we explain why any of the documents we're submitting are not complete and what additional work needs to be done. For the most part, our documents should be complete, and we can identify them as complete in the status of documents section. If our project includes cooperating agencies, they're listed in the cooperating agencies section. For this project, there are no cooperating agencies. District Quality Control completion date tells when the project was reviewed within the district for quality control. Although our environmental document is still in draft form, the district quality control should be performed prior to submitting through EDS. The date of district quality control review should be listed here, and the reviewer, the district environmental lead, should be listed as well. When the form is complete, we're ready to submit. We can save as draft if we want to come back and make additional changes. Keep in mind that the environmental document submittal form is really a tracking sheet for the approvals for the project. The project itself still needs to be reviewed and approved separate from the EDS. Because we're doing an initial submittal for review in the ERC, our project document should be maintained in draft status and not yet signed by the district environmental manager. I'm currently logged in as a project manager for my district. When I send this for review, it will immediately go to my district environmental manager and project development manager, skipping the step that if I were data entry, I would have to first send it to the project manager for review. When I've successfully submitted the EDS for review, I can see a link at the top to view the PDF of the EDS document. Now I'm logged in as the District Environmental Manager. I'm looking at the Environmental Document Submittal form for the same project. Notice that the form elements are disabled and I can't make any changes. My choices now are to certify this document is complete and ready for review or approval, or to say need more information and send it back to the data entry or project manager in my district. I'll review the Environmental Document Submittal form and make sure that the environmental document itself is also ready for review. Then I'll certify and sign. With each signature or approval, an email is generated for the next step in the process. Here's the email that we just generated by signing as the District Environmental Manager. Dustin Ronson, that's the name of the user I was using, has certified the environmental document submittal for the following project. Then there's the project information. Please log into SWEP to review the environmental document submittal. Use this link to go directly to the EDS form, and there's the link. Once your certification is received, the submittal will be sent to the OAM Project Delivery Coordinator, and then it lists the name of the Project Delivery Coordinator for confirmation. Then there's the approval history. These two District QA/QC events are on the actual Type 2 CE itself. Then the record we previously created as the project manager with an initial submittal on the EDS sent to the EM and PDM, and now responding as the EM certified as the District Environmental Manager. The next signature that's needed is the PDM, and the recipient of this email will be the PDM who needs to take the next step. Note the recipient listed here. This is the PDM who needs to make the next signature. As the project development manager, we've received this notification asking for our signature on the environmental document submittal. It includes this link to the environmental document submittal page where we can review and certify the EDS. I click the link, provide my login credentials, and click Sign In. The EDS page loads with our project. I can review the information and choose Certify and Submit. Before I do that, I want to show you that another way to get here is using the Projects Needing Approval menu on the left-hand side and choosing District Signatures. The District Signatures page shows us projects in our district that need additional signatures from members of the district staff, the PDM or DEM or PM. On the left-hand side, we see a link to the project page with the project detailed information, and on the far right, the Review button will take us to the signature page. The button loads the EDS page. We can review the form and select Certify. Once both the DEM and the PDM have certified the environmental document submittal form, it's sent to the Office of Environmental Management, where the project delivery coordinator will sign off. They receive this email. The email reads, "The following environmental document submittal has been certified and is ready for confirmation by the PDC lead." Then there's project information, and below that a link for the PDC to log into the SWEP tool and verify the EDS. Once confirmed, Office of Environmental Management will review the documents and submit comments in the ERC. Because this is our initial submittal, and we've already created the PDF in the SWEP tool of our environmental document and uploaded that into the ERC, this EDS is notifying our PDC lead in the Office of Environmental Management to review the project in the ERC. All supporting documents and attachments can be kept in the SWEP tool because the PDF of the environmental document that we've generated in the SWEP tool and uploaded into the ERC contains links to those documents so that the PDC can review the documents from the ERC. The PDC will confirm the environmental document submittal on this form and submit, indicating that the ERC review of the project has begun. Once the PDC has confirmed our environmental document submittal, we'll receive this notification. It contains a link to our project details page, and it shows the history of our initial submittal all the way through confirmed by our OEM project delivery coordinator lead. Now we wait for the PDC to submit their comments on the project environmental document through the ERC. We respond to those comments and make any necessary changes to the environmental document or supporting information. Once those changes are complete, we need district approval of our environmental document. I'm logged into the environmental document submittal form as the district project manager. The environmental document submittal initial submission has been completed. It's been sent to the Office of Environmental Management, and as the yellow box tells us here, the initial submittal has been confirmed by the OEM PDC. After our document has been updated, in accordance with the comments from the Office of Environmental Management, we're ready to use the environmental document submittal form for our request for approval. The yellow box says, click the Update EDS button below if you need to start the request for approval process. Updating the EDS will require district certification and OEM confirmation of the updated form. That means that when we submit the request for approval, the project manager, PDM, and DEM will all need to sign it before it's submitted to the PDC, and then on up for additional signatures before it's finally approved by the OEM director. Notice that the EDS form is read-only. We can't make changes to it, but once we click the Update EDS button, the form is editable. Our document type is still the same, Type 2 CE, but now our submittal type has changed from initial to request for approval. There's a new question about public involvement documentation. The Contents of Submittal section now has a Choose Documents button. When I click it, it opens a dialog with checkboxes so I can select additional files to be submitted. When I'm done selecting, I can click the Done button and continue. The Contents of Submittal text area is still here, where we can list out additional documents that are included in the submission. We also need to update the status of documents text area before submitting for approval. When we've completed the form, if we want to save as draft, we can do that, come back and make additional changes before sending the submittal for review. If we're ready, we click Send for Review and click Submit. This will trigger notifications to the District Environmental Manager and the Project Development Manager for their signatures before sending this environmental document submittal on to the Office of Environmental Management for additional signatures and final approval. To illustrate the environmental document submittal process, we have a couple of helpful documents in the Help section of the SWEP tool. Under the Help menu, select Quick Guides. The two quick guides that will help you with the environmental document submittal process are Environmental Document Review Process and Environmental Document Submittal. Let's open each of these. The Environmental Document Review Quick Reference lists by class of action which actions are necessary to complete the process for each document type. Here, Type 2 CE, the document we're processing now, we fill out the Type 2 CE form in SWEPT, but we don't submit for approval, save as a PDF, and upload the PDF to the ERC. We fill out the EDS form, select the submittal type Initial, select the document type, Type 2 CE, and submit it for routing. SWEPT routes the EDS through the Environmental Manager and the Project Development Manager, and then to OEM to confirm that the document is ready for review. The PDC will input comments in the ERC from OEM and, if requested, the Office of General Counsel. Then Office of Environmental Management and the District coordinate offline to resolve the comments and update the environmental document. Once they've agreed that the document is ready to submit, the District updates the environmental document in SWEPT and routes it for signatures within the District. The Project Manager and Environmental Manager sign off on it. Then the District completes the EDS form, this time as a request for approval with the same document type, and submit that for routing. The Environmental Manager and Project Development Manager sign it, and then it's routed to Office of Environmental Management. There, the PDC confirms that the document's ready for approval. If the document requires legal review, the Office of General Counsel will recommend it for approval. Then the OEM administrators will recommend the document for approval, and finally the OEM Director approves the document. The Environmental Document Submittal Quick Guide gives a broader view of the entire process. The Before You Start box describes how to set up our project prior to initiating the EDS. The information on the left gives us the distinction between the initial and request for approval submittals. The Create the Initial Submittal section of the document shows us how to begin the EDS process, finding the form either through the menu or through the project page. The Provide Submittal information is a quick checklist for all of the information we'll need to provide within the EDS document. Submit the form to OEM is a summary of the process we just went through in the previous quick guide. And the Document Types and Cover Pages gives a list of the various cover pages you could encounter with the different document types. If you have questions about the Environmental Document Submittal form or anything within the SWEPT tool, you can contact the OEM Help Desk through our email address, swept@fla-etap.org, or call us at the OEM Help Desk at 850-414-5334.